Up next is the day's spotlight address by USAID's Mission Director, Mark White. Mark has worked in more than 30 countries across 4 continents and has received numerous awards and citations for his development work. This includes a Meritorious Honor Award, the US Navy Award of Collaboration, the Department of Defense Medal of Recognition, and a Presidential Gold Medal of Achievement. If I may invite Mark up here. We'll be playing a video first, followed by a few words by Mark.
Look at the world today. What do you see? The largest youth population in history, most in developing countries. The spread of conflict and instability from isolated pockets to whole regions. And a swiftly growing population that must be fed. How do we address global challenges in a rapidly changing world? By empowering women and girls. Investing in women and girls accelerates progress in every area. When girls have access to education and technology, they can learn more and earn more, pulling themselves and their families out of poverty. When women have equal rights and opportunities as peace builders and leaders, peace agreements cover more ground and last longer. And when women have control of resources, land, and markets, they can play a vital role in helping to feed a hungry planet. From climate change to extreme poverty, women are proving they're ready to transform the world. We cannot solve the world's problems without women, period. The way forward is clear. To meet the challenges of the future, we need to empower women and girls now. It is one of the smartest investments we can make, and we can't afford to wait.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon. I'm wondering if we have a crowd of people still here. The video says that we cannot solve the problems of the world without women. We cannot solve the problems of the world without women. We cannot solve the problems of the world without women. How many people believe that? Ladies, take a look. If there's a guy who's not raising their hand, let me know about it. But it's absolutely true. My name is Mark Anthony White, and I'm the director of USAID in India. And it's my pleasure to be here with you today, with this distinguished group of people. I also want to thank the organizers, Dasra, for inviting me to participate in today's session. It's really a pleasure. A little bit about Dasra. I looked on your webpage today, and I was expecting to see a huge picture of Deval and Nira, but I didn't. Instead, what I saw was the team. What I saw was the mission. What I saw was the goal and what you wanted to accomplish, and I was very, very impressed. And I thought about your parents. Your dad left. Is your mom-in-law still here? Yeah, and I thought about you. And I thought, what is it that you did to make them want to start an organization to want to change the world? Or at least to change the sphere of people they're involved with. So congratulations to you, and also your father and mother. I mean, to raise kids to actually believe what Mahatma Gandhi said when he said in his famous quote, "Be the change that you want to see in the world." Or to raise kids to believe what Martin Luther King Jr., a civil rights activist, said, "If not you, then who?" is amazing. Let me start on my speech, because if I do this, I'll be talking all day, so I better get on the formal part of the speech. Today, India has the largest population of adolescents in the world, 253 million. And I'm going to try not to tell you what we already know and move forward from that. But we were all there once. We were all between the ages of 10 and 19. My wife oftentimes says that I'm still stuck in adolescence. I don't know if that's true or not. And what we know that over the years, that when adolescents have access to health services, education and employment opportunities, and a healthy concept of self-esteem, they make better choices about themselves and they fully participate in society. We also know that investing in adolescents is one of the smartest investments we can make for the future of India, moreover the world. And I look at this not so much as a challenge, but rather an incredible opportunity. It's an opportunity to provide young people the freedom and ability to make informed, responsible decisions, to fulfill their personal potential and participate in society. For these reasons, USAID is excited to be a part of the collaborative, the 10 to 19 Adolescents Collaborative. And we buy into the tree out of fives. Tree out of five, who wrote this speech? The tree out of five is, that is 5 million adolescents reached in, let's see, what is it? 5 million adolescents reached, $50 million, and that done in 5 years. Doable? You bet. Somebody's shaking their head no, but I think it is. I think we have to think big. I don't have to tell this audience, think big, get big. And you have to be very optimistic about it. At USAID India, we take pride in our ability to bring multiple players together to address development challenges. So what makes this collaborative so unique? The fact that it brings together organizations from across the globe, nonprofit, technical experts, and government, and unites our efforts to focus on the collective needs of India's adolescents. Okay, so what? So what does that mean for adolescents? It means that we help to define empowerment as the expansion of choice and strengthen the voice through the transformation of power relationships so that women and girls have more control over their lives and future. It's not just a training, it's not just a workshop, it's an ongoing process. Behavior change doesn't happen overnight. It's something, and I always talk about what we do is a process and not just an event. And you know, there's one empirical truth that we all have in common in this room, and that we came to this earth, to this world, through a woman. And so that, to me, makes me very passionate about what we think about and what we talk about. I just want to relate to you a quick story about why I'm so passionate about adolescents and women's and girls' health and empowerment. When I was a graduate student many, many years ago at UNC Chapel Hill, I had to take an elective course. And I waited so late to sign up for this elective, and the only course that was on the list was women's health. And I thought, you know, I'll be honest with you, I probably would not have taken that course if it wasn't for the fact that it was the only course there, but I did sign up for it. And I remember the first day of class, there were 25 women in that class, and I was the only guy. And I walked in the door late. And so, anyway, about 5 minutes after that, there was another guy, Steve, who came in, and we're forever friends. But I learned, I learned so much about that course, and it was taught by a woman named Dr. Jane Vella, who made us read a research study called Women's Ways of Knowing. It actually has been turned into a book. If you get a chance, look it up, Women's Ways of Knowing. And it talked about how women in some cultures, and especially in rural areas, are caught into this whole culture of silence. Not that they don't know, but they've never been asked, number one. And number two, they're afraid to talk unless you create this environment of safety and trust. So, I mean, the course went on, and it was day after day after day of learning more about women and our role and how we think. And as I said earlier, we all came to this world through a woman. It also talked about the disenfranchisement of women and what we need to do to make sure that we empower. Women's empowerment starts by removing the multiple barriers too many girls encounter during early critical phases of their lives. Women's empowerment starts by involving young boys and men in this dialogue, and we've heard that a number of times throughout the sessions today. Women's empowerment starts by collectively including men, girls, women, and helping them shift their attitudes. To this point, the collaborative works directly with beneficiaries in their homes, schools, communities, and health facilities. The 10 to 19 collaborative has been co-created with the government to align with this National Adolescents Health Program priorities. I was talking to someone at lunch, and they said, we can't do anything unless the government is involved. And I agree. And I'm so pleased that the collaborative is working very closely with the government. The right systems are instrumental in helping girls complete their secondary education and in delaying the age of marriage and first pregnancy. Of course, none of this can happen without the right people, the right attitude, and adequate resources. Knowing all the tremendous work that has gone into the collaborative, I am confident that we have the right people with the right attitude. With the generosity and commitment of philanthropists like you, we can reach our target of $50 million to support the future of India. Today's philanthropists are so much more than just simply givers. I've heard the term givers. I know a lot of people, and in fact, we had dinner last night, and a number of people talked about they want to be involved in program design. They want to be involved in evaluation. They want to know about impact and results, and that's so noteworthy. So we invite you and others to help consider our collective role in expanding the array of life choices available to women and girls in India. We also want to collectively anticipate and monitor both negative and positive unintended consequences that may arise from challenges of existing power structures. Hey folks, we know that this isn't easy. This is tough stuff. We want to challenge ourselves towards a more holistic understanding of how gender intersects with age, ethnicity, class, caste, sexual orientation, gender identity, and other social markers. Recognizing that the most marginalized may face very different barriers to empowerment than the more privileged girls and women. We want to inform program design to be flexible and adaptable to changing conditions on the ground and often nonlinear pathways to empowerment and measure progress to our success. Events like this that bring us together are great. Now we have to keep the momentum going. I thought that to conclude, I'd give you a quote from an American jazz legend. Yes, you heard it right, a jazz legend. Somebody might say, what can a jazz legend quote? Well, a guy named John Coltrane, many of you may know John Coltrane, said, "One positive thought produces millions of positive vibrations." One positive thought produces millions of positive vibrations. And another quote that I like to use is the power of one. Never underestimate the power of one. In this room, we have the power of many, so we can't fail. Thoughts turn into ideas, ideals turn into action, and actions turn into reality that can change lives. So I agree with much of what the girl said in the video earlier today. It is your turn, and it's our opportunity to help to support you. Before I close, I'd like to recognize my staff, the health team who's here as well with me. And these guys, just raise your hand, guys. Don't be shy. They do all the hard work. And I want to thank you for your work. And I get to read the speeches and go to the events like this, but these guys do really the hard work. But this is our opportunity to impact change. This is our opportunity to do more good. We can do this, so let's do this. Thank you very much for your attention.